Welcome to 𝐄𝐓𝐇𝐄𝐂. We talk about investing, finance, and professional development. It's the current time of 12:54 p.m. on Eastern Time on July 17th on Sunday. Ethereum contract at $1,345. That's about close to 1% so far. Respect over crypto market on this Sunday afternoon. Collectively, I would say the day has been kind of a mixed bag, but the majority of the crypto market has been, under some pressure, obviously with respect to a negative CPI report, and then subsequent to that with corporate earnings, that so far collectively it's kind of been mixed bag, right? It's been positive on more the resilient type of consumer-based product company like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, if you may. But with respect to the financial sector, like JP Morgan, Citi, Morgan Stanley, have all depicted and also negatively readjust their guidance and their outlook on the overall market, but also for themselves. Basically, with respect to the the shrinking of the M&A market activity, to the enlargement of the debt ratio that they are incurring. And I'm not talking about healthy debts. I'm talking about bad debts, right? That a lot of corporate companies and debt borrowers are unable to obviously pay off their debts due to insolvency or financial hardship, which subsequently the banks have to kind of eat it, right? If they file for bankruptcy, there isn't much that they can do about it, right? But besides just eating that into their own balance sheets. So it seems like the financial sector is definitely getting some hindrance, but we're gonna hear more on the corporate guidance from going forward. Coming week, in this coming basically next 5 days, we're gonna get earnings every single day, and every single day is gonna have a mixed bag of consumer, aerospace, defense, industrial, combined with obviously financial sector stocks as well. So we'll hear how that goes, right? And as of the last couple of hours so far since my first posting, it seems like today they posted literally not too long ago, like 39 minutes ago. Seems like there's a depictions on Crypto World, which debut on CNBC every single day, from Monday to Friday at 3 p.m. on Eastern Time. So check that out. This is not a plug, despite my affiliation with CNBC. I am a contributor to that channel. As you have probably seen my feature story on myself recently. And with respect to the article on Crypto World, basically talk about, this is such a eye-catching title, from $25 billion to $167 million, and how major crypto lenders collapse and drag many investors down. Right, we could read into this, but let's just maybe watch the videos together. Let's hope that I don't get no ads on this one. But let's see if we could hear this okay. And hopefully my signal is also...
I wonder how much of this is going to have an even more chilling effect for that crypto winter. How much more downside could there be for the entire business?
Yeah, that's a huge concern, because Celsius filing for bankruptcy definitely wasn't a surprise. I mean, once a platform suspends withdrawals for customers, freezing all of its users' crypto cash, it is typically all over. But just because this wasn't a shock doesn't mean that it wasn't a really big deal for the industry. Celsius was once one of the largest players in the crypto lending space. We're talking more than $8 billion in loans to clients and almost $12 billion in assets under management. And remember, a lot of your mom and pop investor types were wrapped up in this. Celsius said it had 1.7 million customers as of last month. Now, the reason that the platform was able to capture so many users was because of its almost unbelievable returns. Its interest-bearing accounts were really attractive. Yields were as high as 17%. And well, returns like that, they're not real. We know of at least one lawsuit where Celsius is being accused of functioning like a Ponzi scheme. Dom?
So I mean,
Wow,
Kenzie,
Ponzi scheme.
you have this kind of alongside the Celsius meltdown. We're also seeing Three Arrows Capital, right? 3AC. That's the one you're hearing about a lot more. A major crypto hedge fund that used to be a major one. It's filing for bankruptcy. That's had a knock-on effect to even more crypto players as well. So 3AC, Three Arrows Capital, Celsius, what's the latest on Three Arrows? That's arguably been maybe some of the bigger influence on confidence in crypto.
Yeah, I mean, it seems as though all roads lead back to Three Arrows Capital. And keep in mind, this was supposed to be the adult in the room, Dom.
Oh.
The fund was around for a decade. Its co-founders were former Credit Suisse traders. They had $10
Well, they're
billion
not wrong
in
about
assets
this.
under management. But now 3AC is in bankruptcy court. The
Yep.
fund's risky trading strategy relied heavily on leverage, and they broke under pressure as crypto prices plunged, leaving 3AC unable to repay lenders. And as you said, it's a sort of perfect example of the dangers of the crypto contagion effect. Already, some of those 3AC lenders have filed for bankruptcy, and things aren't looking good from here. Even though the fund voluntarily filed for bankruptcy, lawyers representing the court-assigned liquidators say that the founders are apparently missing. And I've been poring
we've
over
seen
these
this
court
before.
documents
That's
filed in the
really-
Southern District of New York, and they also
That's
say that
fishy,
the fund
right? They
hasn't
just
begun
left
to
and took
cooperate
off.
with the liquidation process in any meaningful manner. So that means that there is no cash to pay back the company's lenders right now.
Yeah, so that's the story, and it's unfortunate about like Three Arrow Capital, and Three Arrow Capital or all the investment funds. What they do is they basically charge a management fee, a 2%. So let's say they were like managing billions of dollars on behalf of investors, like public investors to obviously institutional investors. They still keep that management fee, which is 2% of multi-billion dollars, is still a lot of money, right? So obviously with respect to the profit, which they don't have any, they basically lost all of it. They basically just run away with the multi-million dollars of management fee that they kept, while leaving their investors like cut and dry, basically lost all their money on their behalf. So that's like terrible. But they made like some like FU money, if you may, from this obviously bankruptcy, voluntarily bankrupt. Like what is that? Doesn't mean. Anyways, so let's just dive right into the technical. Like beside that interesting one, which obviously doesn't give crypto investors a good taste in their stomach or on their tongue. Knowing the fact that Three Arrow Capital, Celsius, these are supposed to be the big boys, the adults in the room, like CNBC mentioned. That for them to not be able to like triangulate all of this, but I don't blame them, because like they have been using leverage to be making their trades, right? They like triple leverage, like 10x leverage, things like that onto drive, and when they get on the wrong side of the trade, like everything get magnified, and that's next thing that they go bankrupt. So this definitely doesn't leave investors a good taste in their mouth, which can hinder some investors, both on the institutional side but also on the retail side, on the buying pressure ahead of us, right? So let's just dive right into technical again. Apologies. This was just an article that came out and I wanted to share with you guys. Again, with respect to recording time of 1 p.m. on Eastern time. We are at 1350 right now. So in the near term, as we obviously head on to a volatile week ahead, right, we are basically consolidated at the new resistance level. But ultimately, with respect to the cross-section we've been forming for a long time now, like we've been crossed up since what? June 23rd, right? And we're like mid-July now. So we've been crossed up for a month now. So eventually you need to kind of come down just to replenish the market cycle. At the same time, you could see that the inertia is getting blocked again at 59 out of 70, right? And it's relatively high level already, relatively speaking. That buying at these levels, it doesn't convey a lot of sense at the moment, logically, right? So I think as you wait for this needle to come down, which always does, to more of a lower level at the same time cross-section downward, and I think you should ideally buy based on a historical reference when the chart looks something like this, right? It was about to form a golden cross when it's depleted, right? So yeah, we'll see how the week will unfold. I foresee it to be, this will obviously be, I believe my gut feel is that this is gonna get corrected coming back down to obviously 1250 again, 1150, all the way even breaking 1,000. I think that's very logical based on the current setup as we are heading to FOMC meeting, which if we were to do 1% rates hike based on everything that we've learned so far from Jerome Powell, that's gonna really do it. That's gonna like basically rip the bandage and probably even the scab off our wound, and allow us to bleed for a little bit, but then you kind of recuperate from there. But remember, the weekly and monthly are still looking good, right? We've still been relatively depleted for quite some time, so it's looking for a way, a path to come back up eventually. Bitcoin, same thing, right? Weekly and monthly are quite bullish, but daily means that we need to see some short-term volatility ahead of us, and this is applicable across all the other altcoin, right? It seems like Classic is pumping right now due to its own micro affectation, but right now if you buy in at this moment, 70 out of 70, basically meeting all of these gaps that we've formed. So now we're basically heading to $21. So let's see if we can have a shot of doing so, right? Because basically right now you'll be meeting with the third candle that we have formed on the 11th of June, back a month ago. So we'll see how that goes. But I think I think it's probably worth your effort to be maybe shorting this or taking some profit from here. And across the overall market, it's still kind of trading similar to how the key coins are trading. Still obviously bearish on the daily, bullish on a weekly and monthly. Okay. Well, appreciate you. It's a quick one, and let me know if you have questions. Take care. Bye.